The Old West, where men lived fast and died young, and legends were born in the dust of gunfights and outlaw raids. Beneath the sprawling skies, from the saloons of Deadwood to the barren plains of New Mexico, some of the most notorious figures in American history etched their names in blood and bullets. But behind the romanticized stories of heroism and rebellion, how did these infamous gunslingers and outlaws really meet their end? From a gambler's last poker hand to a sheriff's deadly showdown, their fates were as wild as the frontier they roamed. 1. Billy the Kid, 1859 to 1881. Born Henry McCarty, later known as William H. Bonney, Billy the Kid became an infamous outlaw during the Lincoln County War in New Mexico. He was rumored to have killed 21 men, one for each year of his life, though this number is debated. In 1880, Sheriff Pat Garrett captured Billy, who was sentenced to hang but escaped jail after killing 2 deputies. Garrett tracked Billy down in Fort Sumner on July 14, 1881, and shot him in the dark of night. His death cemented his status as a legend of the Wild West. 2. Jesse James, 1847 to 1882. Jesse James, a former Confederate guerrilla, led a gang that committed numerous robberies across the Midwest. After years of crime, including train and bank heists, the heat on him increased. On April 3, 1882, Robert Ford, a member of James's gang, killed him in his home in St. Joseph, Missouri, in exchange for a reward. Ford shot James in the back of the head as he straightened a picture on the wall, ending the life of one of America's most famous outlaws. 3. Wild Bill Hickok, 1837 to 1876. James Butler Wild Bill Hickok was a lawman, scout, and legendary gunslinger known for his sharpshooting skills. Hickok had numerous violent confrontations during his career, gaining a reputation in the lawless frontier. On August 2, 1876, while playing poker in Nuttall and Mann's saloon in Deadwood, South Dakota, Hickok was shot in the back of the head by Jack McCall. Hickok held 2 pairs, aces and eights, which became known as the dead man's hand. McCall claimed he killed Hickok to avenge his brother's death, though this was never confirmed. 4. Doc Holliday, 1851 to 1887. John Henry Doc Holliday was a dentist-turned-gambler and gunfighter. Known for his role in the famous gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona, alongside Wyatt Earp, Holliday became one of the West's most feared figures. Suffering from tuberculosis, Holliday lived much of his life in the shadow of death. Despite his violent reputation, he succumbed to the disease in a sanitarium in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, in 1887. He was 36 years old, and his death was notably peaceful compared to his lifestyle. 5. Butch Cassidy, 1866 to 1908. Born Robert Leroy Parker, Butch Cassidy was the leader of the Wild Bunch, a notorious outlaw gang in the West. They specialized in robbing trains and banks. After years of evading capture, Cassidy and his partner, the Sundance Kid, fled to South America. In 1908, after a robbery in Bolivia, they were reportedly cornered by Bolivian soldiers and killed in a shootout. However, rumors persist that Cassidy survived and lived under an alias back in the U.S. or abroad. 6. Sundance Kid, 1867 to 1908. Born Harry Alonzo Lamabau, the Sundance Kid was known for his skills with a gun and his partnership with Butch Cassidy. After a career of crime in the United States, the duo fled to South America. Like Cassidy, the details of his death are unclear, but he was allegedly killed in the same Bolivian shootout. There are conflicting stories about whether he died or escaped to live in secrecy. 7. Wyatt Earp, 1848 to 1929. Wyatt Earp is one of the most well-known lawmen of the Old West, celebrated for his role in the gunfight at the OK Corral. Alongside his brothers and Doc Holliday, Earp fought a violent shootout against the Clanton McGlory gang in Tombstone, Arizona. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Earp lived a long life. After his career in law enforcement, he moved to California, where he lived quietly until his death at age 80. Earp died of natural causes in Los Angeles in 1929, far removed from the gunfights of his youth. 8. John Wesley Hardin, 1853 to 1895. John Wesley Hardin was one of the most notorious gunfighters in the West, claiming to have killed over 40 men. Known for his quick temper, he was frequently involved in violent confrontations. After spending years in prison for killing a sheriff, Hardin tried to live a quieter life but could not escape his violent reputation. On August 19, 1895, Hardin was shot in the back of the head while playing dice in the Acme Saloon in El Paso, Texas, by John Selman, a lawman with whom Hardin had an ongoing feud. 9. Bat Masterson, 1853–1921. Bartholomew Bat Masterson was a Buffalo hunter, lawman, gambler, and journalist. He worked as a sheriff and marshal in Kansas towns like Dodge City, often alongside Wyatt Earp. In his later years, Masterson moved to New York City, where he worked as a sports writer for newspapers. He died of a heart attack at his desk in 1921, at the age of 67, leaving behind a legacy as one of the West's last gunfighters. 10. Clay Allison, 1840–1887. Clay Allison was known for his volatile temper and violent outbursts. A former Confederate soldier, Allison became a feared gunman after the Civil War, known for participating in range wars and various feuds. He reportedly killed multiple men, although his kill count remains debated. Despite his violent lifestyle, Allison died in an unusual accident. On July 1, 1887, he fell from a supply wagon and was run over by the wheels near his ranch in Pecos, Texas. 11. Bill Doolin, 1858–1896. Bill Doolin was the leader of the Wild Bunch Gang, which specialized in bank and train robberies. After years of Outlaws activity, Doolin was captured but escaped from jail. He was eventually tracked down and killed by a posse led by U.S. Marshal Heck Thomas near Lawson, Oklahoma, on August 24, 1896. Doolin's death marked the end of one of the last major outlaw gangs in the Old West. 12. Belle Starr, 1848–1889. Born Myra Maybelle Shirley, Belle Starr became infamous as the Bandit Queen, known for her association with outlaws such as Jesse James and the Younger Brothers. Although her criminal activities are often romanticized, she was involved in theft, horse rustling, and harboring criminals. On February 3, 1889, while riding home from a neighbor's house in Indian Territory, now Oklahoma, Starr was ambushed and shot in the back. The identity of her murderer remains a mystery, though it's speculated it could have been her own son or a jealous lover. These figures, though bound by their violent and often lawless lifestyles, each met their end in different ways, some by bullets, others by illness or accident. Their lives, deaths, and legends have shaped the enduring mythos of the American West.